I wanted to make a video on some of the factors that you should consider when doing political risk analysis. So, here we go. Analyzing a state's economy should be the first factor any political risk analyst investigates. The economy can tell you a lot about a state. It can tell you if the state will be stable for years to come, or if society will fall apart. A strong economy is a good indicator for stability. However, a strong economy does not guarantee that the state will be stable. The state could have a strong economy, but the people might dislike the government. This can cause a problem for your analysis. Political stability is the second most important factor that should be considered. If you want to be a good political risk analyst, then you should have an intimate understanding of how the politics work in the state you are investigating. You should know who has the political power in the state and who has the potential to shift that power. You should also be aware of regulations and tariffs. Demographics are an extremely important factor in political risk analysis. If the state you are working on has declining demographics, then the government of that state is going to have to do something about it. One of the ways that states get around declining demographics is by importing foreigners. However, this can easily lead to conflicts breaking out with the native population. Diversity tends to be a strength and a weakness for most states. Climate change is a factor that most political risk firms take into consideration when doing analysis. However, they tend to put too much emphasis on this factor. Climate change is useful when analyzing an island state. If you are analyzing Indonesia or the Philippines, then utilizing climate change might be helpful. The same could be said if you are focusing on the Middle East or Central Asia. But climate change is not that big of a deal for most of the planet. I usually view climate change as being associated with money laundering when it comes to the political risk industry. The same could be said for green energy and fintech. One of the factors that I consider when doing analysis is a state's relationship with the United States. The United States controls the world. Most global leaders have a relationship with Washington. If the state you are investigating has bad relations with the United States, then it might not be wise to invest in them. Your client could potentially lose a lot of money. This is not to say that states that support the United States are perfect. Your client can still lose money in states that are friendly to the United States. But we are talking about political risk. Political risk is a form of risk management. You want to lower the risk involved for your client. The United States seems to be losing its control over the planet, so we might see a new power center pop up somewhere in the future. But we are not to that point yet. This factor is something that is personal to me. Most political risk analysts do not use it in their analysis.